y'all. Hey y'all, it's Ed Emerald. We are back. So we last left off. We were talking about the art of networking, why it's important, different ways that you can network, and the benefits of it, and how you should set your goals, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So now, what we're going to talk about is the way that you're going to craft your brand story. So in our last video, we talked about the way that networking aligns with professional and personal branding. And one of those ways to do that is to have an elevator pitch, right? So that's what we're going to talk about today. So let's start off with my elevator pitch. Hey, y'all, I'm Ebony, the founder of Emerald Career Consulting. For over a decade, I've been dedicated to helping individuals and businesses shine in the professional world. If I have time, then I'll add this second part. If not, then I just pretty much tell people about my business, which is Emerald Career Consulting, specializes in strategic branding, professional development, and recruitment solutions tailored to unique client goals. And ultimately, if I don't have that much time, then I tell people, hey, my name is Ebony. My business is Emerald Career Consulting, and I am all things career. Whether it's your small business, if you're an individual, you have a career, I got you. And that's pretty much it, plain and simple. But yeah, that's me. And so now we're just going to go through the process of making your own elevator pitch, right? So in this video, we're going to review what an elevator pitch is, how to identify your goal, ways to introduce yourself, describe what you do, highlight your unique selling proposition and providing results. And we also are going to talk about a call to action. Okay. So what is an elevator pitch? All right. So I am not going to do you a disservice of reading all of this information to you, although it is very beneficial. You can absolutely pause to read it, but basically, an elevator pitch is how you're introducing yourself. So ultimately, we know the standard, hi, my name is Ebony, nice to meet you, blah, blah, blah. Like we know those different things, but when we only have a small window or pocket of time to really make a lasting impression on someone, then we give them an elevator pitch. But we have to do it in between like 30 seconds to 2 minutes because they don't know it. They don't know us. They're strangers. We don't want to be weird and take too much of their time. Everyone doesn't care for networking. Some people, are introverted and they get a little awkward, and that's okay. So what we want to do is we still want to be of service to them or find ways that they can be of service to us. And so therefore we have an elevator pitch, and that elevator pitch is basically a quick way to say who you are, what you do, why it matters to the person you're telling it to. Okay. And so it may change depending on who you're talking to and what your business is. That may change because if you have a business that has several different services, then, you want to tailor that pitch towards who you are speaking to. And we'll talk about that later in the video as well. So the first thing when we're creating the elevator pitch, the first thing we want to do is identify our goal. Okay. So are we trying to introduce ourselves, or does the person already know us and they don't know what we do? Do you want to pitch an idea? So again, is this person familiar with you, seen you around, but they're not really 100% sure of how you guys could collaborate together? Then you kind of want to pitch an idea to them. Or are you selling a product or a service? So that's the first thing. You want to identify what that goal is when you're speaking to that person. First of all, unless you're like chilling, maxing, relaxing, whatever Fresh Prince says, unless you're doing that, then you should always have an objective or a goal when you're speaking to anyone. The purpose of us interacting, especially professionally, is making sure that we're achieving a goal, like something is being accomplished. You know what I'm saying? Because otherwise, then we're just hanging out. And that's cool too. But understand that if it's time set aside for business, for networking, for, moving further towards a goal, then make sure that you have one. Make sure you have an objective for when you're talking to people. Okay. And so then from that, you want to ensure that in your elevator pitch, you are leaving a lasting impression, that you have something to be remembered by, that you spark interest and grab attention. And so, an example of that for me, and I'm not saying you necessarily have to do this, is that my business is Emerald Career Consulting. So, when I attend business events, I'm wearing green. Somewhere on me is something green. And that's just so people can kind of associate me like, oh, the girl in the green, like with Emerald. So it's easier to make that connection, especially because I'm a business of one, it's a small business, and I need people to remember me. So and it's easy to remember that, or know automatically this girl finna come in here wearing green. And I am. I sure am. So yes, so make sure that you have a goal that you want to leave a lasting impression, or you want to be remembered, or spark some type of interest or gain some form of attention in some way. All right. So when we introduce ourselves, we are going to start with just a brief introduction of who we are and what our role or our expertise is. So, for example, mine is hello, I'm Ebony B, the founder of Emerald Career Consulting. Right. So that's who I am. That's my expertise. Emerald Career Consulting is basically my expertise. Now I could go on and say, oh, I have a master's and blah, 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 all that. It gets a little boring. So you want to keep it cute. You want to be very concise about it. So then you go further and describe what you do. So you want to explain what you and or what your company does clearly and concisely. You want to focus on the key services or products that you offer, or again, like I said, you want to focus on what you're offering to that particular person. So like say for instance, when I'm talking to an individual that does not have a business, I don't tell them what I do for small businesses because that doesn't affect them. That doesn't benefit them in any form or fashion. That doesn't paint the full picture for them. So we don't talk about small businesses. We talk about career goals for individuals. And so that makes a difference. Then you want to highlight your unique selling proposition or your USP. So you want to identify what sets you apart from others in your field. So what makes you special? For me, there's several people that are out there writing resumes. There's several people out there that are, consultants. But the difference is I do this. I do this for real. So again, that's where the 10 years of experience or the over a decade I've been doing blank. And that's because I have been, deeply embedded into ensuring that I've done recruiting. I've reviewed the resumes. I've written the resumes. I've, done the interviews. I've done the hiring, the firing, the managing, the onboarding, like anything that's related to HR. I've been knee deep in it. And so that makes a difference. Then on top of that, when you add that I have a master's in human resources management, then it's like, okay, no, I'm talking to somebody who knows what she's talking about. And so that makes a difference. So that's my unique selling proposition. If anyone asks, what's my unique approach or what's my expertise? And it's like, I know it and I know the rules because I was the person making the rules. So that's a little bit different than someone who says, I'm really great at writing, or I'm really good at this particular task, or this worked for me and my friends, which that's still great. Don't get me wrong. That's wonderful. However, that's not an expert. So that's my USP. Then you want to provide the results. So if possible, you want to include a brief example or a statistic demonstrating your work's impact or the value that you provide, which is what I essentially just did there. But also, I can just pull up, the messages that I have of, you know, the encouragement, people getting jobs, people learning new skills, businesses thriving and hiring new staff and things like that, just reaching their goals. So I can provide the results, and you should be able to do that as well. So here's an example of that. For over a decade, I've been dedicated to helping individuals and businesses shine in the professional world. Meaning that I've been doing this. I've worked in several different industries. I have worked with several different people in various scenarios. And I just know the difference, literally from, entry level all the way up to C suite of what's required, what's being discussed in meetings, what the objectives are, what the purpose is, the type of people that they're looking for, being able to look into a company's values and mission statements and kind of recite it back to them. This is what you say you're about. Well, this person is about that. So this is the person you need to be hiring. And so that's kind of what I do. But that's an example of that. So you may not be able to say, I help. You may be able to say, I create, or I find, I source, I scale, I give, I teach, you know, anything can fit in there. These are just some ideas of what you can use. It doesn't have to be mimicked directly after mine. It needs to be unique to you and your business. But these are just some examples of what you can add into your elevator pitch. So then from there, what happens, depending on my audience and who I'm talking to, then I'll say the different things that I do. So, do I want to talk about strategic branding? Do I want to talk about career consulting, copywriting, personal branding, professional development, or recruitment solutions? I'm offering all of these different options just depending on the scenario that I'm in and who I'm talking to. So, for example, sometimes I go to job fairs on behalf of people and just get information about the jobs, and I post it in a Facebook group that I have called the Career Corner. And from there, I'm just getting that information to basically give to other people. So I may say then, hey, I work in professional development, or I'm a career consultant, and this is kind of what I'm looking for. Now, if I'm then there and talking to them and they say, well, hey, what do you do for recruitment? And then I may, tell them, hey, I also offer recruitment solutions, especially if it's a smaller business. I offer recruitment solutions. What is it that you're looking for? I just go into the details. So in your elevator pitch, you should be prepared at any point to branch off and talk about the services that you do based on the audience that you have. So you got to spark interest. All right. So you got to include a call to action, which is basically just telling them, like, let's have a meeting, or let's do a follow-up conversation, or here's my card, even that, or give me your card, let me have your card or whatever. So just make sure that there is some form of call to action. And also, you just want to practice your pitch. You guys may hear me say my pitch different ways at different times, but ultimately a pitch is still a pitch. You're gonna hear it. But yeah, you can adjust it based on the feedback. You can adjust it basically on how it makes you feel. All right. And then again, aim for your pitch to be around 30 seconds, anywhere between 75 and 150 words. Ensure that it's brief, but make sure that it's impactful. Now, again, your pitch can go up to 2 minutes, but let's try not to make it that long. All right. So, in conclusion, you want to be confident, you want to be clear, you want to be quick. Okay. Okay. All right. Thanks, guys, for watching. I appreciate it. Again, this is Eb at Emerald. You can follow me at Emerald Career Consulting across all platforms. Please like, share, and subscribe to my YouTube channel and this video. And I'll be back later with something else. Bye.